What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We have some serious problems, and we could be seeing food prices spike dramatically. We've really seen food prices at all-time highs, and if you've fallen for really the fake news that says, have you seen the 4% inflation numbers that the government is celebrating, saying, "Oh, inflation's at 4%." Okay, if you see my recent video here that explains that in more detail, I'll give you the quick rundown of that. 4% inflation this year or right now means that, well, first of all, last year's inflation numbers that were as high as 9% or even more at a certain point in time. Okay, remember that the cost of living last year when with senior Social Security, 8.7%. That was the fourth highest cost of living adjustment ever for Social Security. So really, we had record high inflation of over 40 years. Okay, the 4% inflation that you're hearing from the government now means that inflation is 4% higher than what it was last year. Okay. That means that even though we had record high inflation of over 40 years, inflation is still growing 4% higher. It's 4% more than what it was last year. So if inflation was at zero now, it would be, hey, inflation hasn't gone up more than what it was last year. We've leveled off, it's stopped. But instead, inflation is still going up more than last year. It's up 4% more than last year. And remember, the Fed says that inflation should only be going up by 2% a year. So we're more than double the inflation rate of what we should be. And last year's inflation was so bad, it was the fourth highest cost of living adjustment for seniors on Social Security ever. That's how bad inflation is right now. And we know of the inflation, food costs are pretty much the highest they have ever been, ever. Depends on the type of food and stuff, but overall, food costs are pretty much the worst of the worst. And now we have three major crises right now that are happening that I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you, that are really, really troubling and could send food prices overall drastically worse. Take a look at this. Number one, India's rice export ban could drive global food prices even higher. In the United States, around the world, for food insecure countries everywhere. This is a serious problem because we know that rice and rice-based products is a huge thing. Rice is one of the number one food-based products in the world. Rice is a major ingredient. This is a major issue. This is just number one here. India, the number one largest exporter of rice in the world, just banned all exports of non-basmati white rice late Thursday in an effort to keep domestic prices in check, raising fears it could further threaten global food security, which has already been impacted by Russia scrapping a key UK broker deal that allowed Ukrainian grains through the Black Sea. Think big price increases, which leads us to number two. Why Russia just pulled out of the deal that could cut global food inflation by over 23%. As if Vladimir Putin wasn't a madman enough by attacking a country with 45 million people. And if you just watched my video, where a cathedral, basically a centuries old church from the 1700s, was reduced to rubble. The roof started collapsing. I have a video of it. I can link you to that video here. Absolutely just destroyed. And this church was once destroyed back in the early 1900s by Stalin and now destroyed yet again here by Putin. Stalin, Putin, Hitler, yeah, they all kind of go hand in hand. But now Putin is pulling out of the grain deal, which provides grain and wheat to hundreds of countries that will literally send the price of grain, wheat, and food and send the prices of these in the United States and impoverished countries all around the world and send these prices skyrocketing. You can see the quote here, many may die. UN's dire warning after Ukraine's grain deal collapses. A top UN official warned Friday that millions of people around the world are facing starvation and even death after Russia's withdrawal from the Black Sea grain deal. But such warnings have done little to deter Moscow, which has launched wave after wave of attack on the key port city of Odessa. What makes Ukraine such an important part of the global food supply chain? Ukraine has been called the breadbasket of Europe and is a major supplier of wheat, barley, sunflower products, and corn to Europe, as well as developing countries such as in the Middle East, North Africa, and China. More than 400 million people relied on foodstuffs from Ukraine before Russia invaded Ukraine in February of last year. One key reason for that is Ukraine has approximately 1/3 of the world's most fertile soil. And third, a UPS strike looming here in a matter of days would be a major blow to the US economy, the US inflation fight, and the supply chain as they handle about a third of all US packages, or more if you include everything that they handle. And it could trigger a US recession depending on how long it goes on. They employ over 340,000 workers, and the United States Postal Service and FedEx cannot handle the overload, the overflow of packages. If this happens, it would be the largest strike in US history. And where would all the packages go? Because they would not be able to be shipped. And in today's type of shipping economy, delivery, order from home, get it delivered to you the next day or 2 days later. Shipping nowadays is more important than ever. Yeah, would just be an absolute nightmare. And when you just add this in with the other potential problems that we're dealing with and a very fragile economy already, the Fed raising interest rates on a whim to just absolutely crush the average everyday American, it's like we're hanging on by a thread to begin with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here on all this stuff going on in our country on a daily basis. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos here on our YouTube channel, which happen every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for liking, and please share these videos. It helps our YouTube channel grow, and it also lets other people know about what is happening here in our country and around the world. Click here to see why North Korea says that a nuclear attack would be justified, or click here to see why people are appalled at what is happening at McDonald's. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.